Hello, travel friends. In this episode, we are going to provide you guys with alternatives to popular attractions in Paris, France. You know, sometimes when you're planning a trip here or there, the schedule doesn't quite work. Like the day is rainy and you kind of have to do some other thing else. Or you might be just in like a totally different part of town and you kind of have to change plans. So we're going to provide you guys with some good, very, very good alternatives to very popular attractions. Hope this is helpful. Okay.
All right, so first up is the Louvre. Our popular alternative is going to be Musée d'Orsay or Museum d'Orsay. Reason why we believe this is a great alternative, one is the Louvre is massive. If you want to see it all, it's going to take more than a full day. What's great about the d'Orsay is it is very bite-sized. It has a little bit of everything, and you can get through it in 2 hours.
Yeah, it's something that you can do in half a day. It's like you want to go to Paris and you kind of want some artsy experience, but you don't want to like tire yourself out or like overwhelm your senses or take like a whole day, which is usually what the Louvre takes. The Museum d'Orsay is a great option. You're going to get a very good representation of like French art at the Museum d'Orsay, and it's going to be very approachable. Highly recommend it. Our next alternative is to the Eiffel Tower. We highly recommend the Eiffel Tower. Very, very impressive. But, it is sort of in its like own corner in Paris. So if you can't go to the Eiffel Tower for whatever reason, we recommend.
So we have 2 alternatives. So if you still want to see it, there's a really great view from the Galeries de Lafayette on the rooftop. You can see most of Paris, but it is a beautiful shot of the Eiffel Tower. We recommend maybe like late afternoon, more towards sunset is a great time to go. Another alternative is going to be at Sacré-Cœur. On the stairs in front of Sacré-Cœur, you again can see the Paris expanse and the Eiffel is there. So that's also a great place to see it at night when it's going to shine.
Yeah, so both of these places, both at the rooftop and in front of like Sacré-Cœur, you see a lot of Paris. You can see the Eiffel Tower in the background, but I mean, most impressively is that you can see a lot of Paris. The views are great. So, if you're thinking about like, oh, maybe I need to go to the top of the Eiffel for a great view of Paris. Nope. There are other cheaper alternatives. And both the Sacré-Cœur is in a different, neighborhood. So if you're around there, go to that. If you're in the area of the museum,
Galeries Lafayette.
Then go there to the rooftop. Also free, right?
Yeah,
so
all free. Our next alternative is going to be for the Champs-Élysées. That is going to actually be the Les Marais.
So the Champs-Élysées or Champs-Élysées, however you pronounce it, is that famous shopping street, right? Where you get your Louis Vuittons, your whatever, all the
designers, Cartier.
Right. But maybe you're not in that area, or maybe you're just not in that budget.
Yeah,
right?
it's not the most approachable street.
Right. So instead of going there, we recommend
the Les Marais.
And the Les Marais is like this neighborhood
just above like Notre Dame.
Right. Okay. Yeah. And it's
so great. It's a lot of boutiques. And so it is more approachable for, I would say, like the average or normal consumer. And you're also going to get really unique Parisian style, because again, it's these cute boutiques. And if you still want something that's designer, there are designer boutiques in that area. So you're able to still do that without the...
we want to say that like we recommend the Le Marais. It's not like very cheap stuff, right? It's still boutiques. Things are still priceable,
pricey.
They're still of a certain price, but much more affordable than the Louis Vuittons of the world. And go there. There's a lot of smaller shops. You might find something like hidden gems or more of like unknown designers and stuff. So it's a good experience, and I think it's also the shopping experience is a lot more approachable for many consumers, because you can like go in, go out. You
don't have to wait for a personal shopper. You can kind of peruse at your leisure.
Yeah. Also, in that area, I think there's a lot more bakeries, little places to eat, little coffee shops and stuff. So it's a very cute area to, munch on stuff and peruse and buy stuff. It feels
very local Parisian. I think that's the other thing that makes it really quaint. You see other Parisians and families there, so it makes you feel like you're with.
Yeah, I think during our trip, I think we went to the Champs-Élysées once, and I think we went to Le Marais 2, 3, 4 times, something like that.
Quite often.
So there we go.
That's great. There you go. All right, so our next alternative, this is going to be an alternative to Versailles.
Okay, so this is we will caveat this by saying that there's really no true alternative to Versailles. Versailles is just ridiculously impressive. It's like a one-of-a-kind place, a one-of-a-kind experience thing. So try your best to visit Versailles at least once in your life, right? If you can't, right? These are as close an alternative that we can think of. Okay, so what's the...
So it's kind of a 2 for 1. Okay. So one is going to be the Luxembourg Gardens. So the Gardens of Versailles are unparalleled. But if you want to get an idea of how those manicured gardens look, the Luxembourg Gardens are going to be your next best bet. Those are very approachable, bite-sized. You could spend...
It's free.
30 minutes, or you could spend a couple hours walking around.
Yep. French gardens, especially at Versailles, it's known for the vast expanse and very manicured, right? This has to be a certain way, this has to be a certain way, it has to be symmetrical or something like that. Visually, aesthetically pleasing gardens. So you can get, I would say, a lower tier experience at the Luxembourg Gardens. It's free. It's definitely a lot more accessible. So that's what we recommend. And then the other part.
And then the other part would be the Palais Garnier, otherwise known as the Opera House. Yes, the Opera House is more of an Italian influence, to be clear. However, it is so grand. Let's just say it's your first time in Paris. You have 4 or 5 days. You're probably not going to be able to sacrifice one of those days to go to Versailles. So instead, you could do, again, bite size, the Opera House, which might take 1 to 2 hours, but it's still so grand. Yeah. It's a grand staircase. They have a room that is also kind of very, very much similar, again, not in comparison, but they have one of their rooms is very much feeling or giving off a similar feel to the Hall of Mirrors. It's a good potential alternative if you're looking for some of that grandeur.
Yeah. It gives you a bite-sized taste, like an appetizer of the luxuriousness, the grandness, the extravagance of Versailles. I think the Opera House, go for it. It's great on its own. But if you go there and you're like, wow, this thing's really impressive,
you're going to be blown away.
Then next time, plan your trip to Versailles and you'll just be even more blown away.
Yeah.
Okay. So our next thing is an alternative to Notre Dame. Notre Dame is one of my favorite churches, cathedrals in the world. Actually, it's probably my favorite, or second most favorite, second to the La Familia, right?
Oh, yeah.
Unfortunately, though, in 2019 there was a fire, and now it's closed to the public because they're doing renovations, trying to get it back and open by the Olympics in 2024. Since you can't go there, you can only see from the outside. A good alternative would be Sainte-Chapelle.
Yes.
One of the reasons why Notre Dame is so famous is for the stained glass, right? So you go inside, the light hits these stained glass windows, and it's just phenomenal, right? And so you can get a similar experience at Sainte-Chapelle, which also has a ridiculous amount of stained glass, and it's also very, very close by.
Yes.
So I think that's something that you can do. Again, it's not going to be the same thing, obviously, and you should go to Sainte-Chapelle for Sainte-Chapelle's sake. Yeah. But just know that if you're at Sainte-Chapelle and you're wow, this is really cool, I want to see something more like this, then wait till Notre Dame
opens
back up, and you're gonna wow, now I know why this place is so famous and so revered, I guess, in the art church world.
All right, well, those are our 5 alternatives. Again, if you can go to the originals, please do. But if you don't have time, for sure, now you have a couple different alternatives to go to. And so let us know what you think. Feel free to like and subscribe, and happy travels.
Bye, guys.